Hello everyone, thank you for joining this session about the Security Godfather, empowering the champions to guard the family. I hope that you are just as excited as I am today on this topic, because I will let you into the family secret on how to create such a program. And together we can rise as champions of security to make sure our organizations are untouchable as the family of Corleone. Let me briefly introduce myself first. My name is Mike van der Bijl, and I will be your Don during this table session. I come a long way into the family business. I started as a software engineer. I performed that duty for 7 years. After that, I became a business analyst. From there on, I rolled to the role of an IT manager, and currently I'm exploring the field of cybersecurity for already 3 years. So when it comes down to DevSecOps, I should be knowing what I'm talking about, because I've seen all perspectives. And when it comes down to my personal mission, it is about putting the people before technology, because most of the time we invent great tools, techniques, activities to perform to make our solutions more secure. The only thing is they don't always fit in the way of working of our personnel, and that makes it less effective, less efficient, and that's why I want to change that and making sure we focus on the people so we can adjust the processes towards them. And then the technology, the tools will speak for itself, which are the most appropriately. But enough about me. Let's go delve into the topic of today. In this tough world, cruel world where we are living right now, threats are lurking in the shadows, analyzing our behaviors and waiting for the right moment to attack us, right when we are most vulnerable and they can do the most of impact. That's why we have to unite together to safeguard our cherished assets like our solutions, our data, our people, and our very own reputation. Just like Don Vito Corleone taught us the importance of family and loyalty, we too must consider our legacy and the future that we are building together. And together we can build a strong, united empire. In Italy, we have also a little saying that says follow. The world is currently so tough and cruel that everyone needs a second father to look after them. That's why they have the Godfather, or better said, in your organization, it is the person behind the driving force of a security champion program. But before we delve into the topic on how to create such a program, let's see why it matters and what the benefits are. Because in application security and DevSecOps, there are a lot of activities involved in being considered compliant or following the best practices. And we cannot expect from our teams to know all these activities by themselves. We should give them clear directions on what kind of activities they should be doing, how to do those activities, and also when to perform those. And this is where the Security Champion program becomes essential. It is an effective way of identifying and empowering a few colleagues with the right knowledge and skills to carry out those activities and rise as champions. And these champions are not only there to carry out those activities, but they will also mentor others within the organization. And to make this a little bit more concrete for you, you might be familiar with SAMM. We are here at the SAMM user day, right? And a lot of people always explain this about how it should be working, how it looks like, what you have to consider. And especially when you see it for the first time, or you hear it for the first time, it is quite overwhelming, especially when you realize it is just the starting point of your AppSec, DevSecOps journey. There are lots of other activities that should be taken care of. And a lot of organizations always ask me, Mike, where should I start? And I always say, start with the activity of organization and culture in the best practice of education and guidance in the business function of governance. Because when we take a closer look at this, we can see that it is closely related to our Security Champion program. The first objective already stayed out, identify a security champion in every single team. Quite easy, right, to see the overlap. The second one is about formalizing this role within the organization, creating specialized security training for developers, architects, testers, and everyone involved in the SDLC phases. But also creating a team, a family, that can offer second opinions about security, performing architectural reviews, and helping security champions and other people in the organization about security challenges or questions they have, so they have somewhere to go to. And the third part is actually about creating a community, a space where people can talk about security, helping each other, supporting each other across teams, divisions, and departments, and truly leveraging the collective knowledge of the organization. And reaching this level puts you in a wide sweet spot of a vibrant, engaging community out of your security champion program. In a moment I will talk about how to make those programs, but for now I just want to deep in why it matters to have this program and what the benefits are. Why should you focus on this part first? Because we are creating a community out of our security champion program, and that will make sure that our software security posture, our security posture in general, will enhance way more faster than ever. And why would you say? Actually, this has all to do with the little fact of having those security teams in those development teams. Why? Let me explain it a little bit more in detail. A security champion is a trusted representative of their team, and you have one in every single team. So whenever you have a new initiative about an activity, a tool, a technique that you want to introduce, you can first go by with the security champions. And because they are security minded, they will see the added value with a little bit of introduction. And that is really great. But then the hard part begins. You have to make sure that it fits in their way of working of their development team. And you can use their input, their opinions about, hey, how to make it work, how to make it fit in their way of working. So when it does, when you have implemented those changes, it will make sure that the security champions can easily advocate it towards their teams, because they can translate it so they understand it, and they will see the added value then. And because it fits in their way of working, the adoption is highly likely. That's really great. But something else is happening here. Because you truly value their opinion, you truly listen and act on it, it will make sure that they will help you with improving it as well to make it more effective, more efficient, and also better fitting in the way of culture. So now you have continuous improvement, not only from initiatives from top down, as security most of the time is, but actually you have created the change from within. They are going to help you with continuous improvement, aka inner sourcing. And also a benefit is because you truly let them lead you. They will also come up with tools from themselves that say, hey, shouldn't this be something that we can standardize in our organization? And that is something really powerful, because they read a lot on the internet. They go to conferences like these as well. So they learn a lot more, and so you have more knowledge, more people to looking at ways to improve your way of working and make your organization more secure. And this kind of support will make sure your new initiative will reach down every single initiative way more faster than ever. Every team will be reached more faster, and your initiative will become way more effective and way more efficient. And that will make sure that your SAMM module will mature easier and faster than ever. Great, now that we understand why such a program matters and what the benefits are, let's see how we can create such a vibrant, engaging program. Creating a successful security champion program isn't a task for a lone wolf. It is a task that bonds the strength and the unity of a strong family bond. And best practice shows that you should have 6 to 9 other people around you with helping these tasks. And it would be beneficial for you if they have different backgrounds, different expertise, like governance, education, SRA, platform engineers, SOC analysts, pen testers, etc. Because having this broad knowledge means if some champions have questions, you have already someone in the family that knows about this topic and can help them. But also having a broad expertise in the organization means you have a lot of network, a lot of reach, and that will make sure that decision making go easier and more smoothly and faster. And you have a lot of them in every program, in every DevSecOps implementation project. So having those reach is very important. But remember, you might brought these people together in the same room, but that doesn't forge a team. You should invest in those relationships, because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. So invest in those relationships. Make sure you engage in team building activities. You truly get to know the other person, and not just on the realm of the business, but also on a personal level. Try to discover their hobbies, passion, interest, how look their lives outside of work. Because knowing each other this deeply will illuminate how certain people will react in certain situations, so you know where it is coming from and you can accept it, and more importantly, respect it. And also, it creates a bond of trust. And these two things are the most important thing in every cohesive team and family. Without trust, respect, and acceptance, you are nowhere to be found. And trust is actually something funny, because most of the time people say, here, you have my trust, I trust you. Or the most funny thing I always find to hear, some people say, I trust everyone 100% until they show they can't be trusted at all. And then I'm like, trust isn't handed over. Trust has to be earned. It grows in an environment where everyone feels understood and being valued, in addition to those personal connections. And we should know about each other's strengths and weaknesses, so we can use this knowledge to make sure that everyone's unique talents are being used effectively. So everyone has the most added value they can deliver. That means more trust, and at the end, more loyalty. And that is what we want. We have to have the strong family bond. Yet, you must remember, you might brought these people together with your initial idea. However, no one will follow you when the vision only belongs to you. So we have to evolve our vision into a vision that resonates with everyone and share a dream. Call it the vision of the family. So we have to craft a clear, compelling vision. And to craft that, you have 5 components you should consider. The first one is about imaginable. Convey a clear picture of the future state, how it will look like when you implemented your security champion program. Describe, for example, in a security operation module, how the responsibilities and roles are configured, and how they will interact with each other, with the security champions, the IT leads, the product owners, the developers, etc. Then the second one is about desirable. Our program should be appealing to the long-term interests of those who have a stake in the organization. Think about senior management, C-directors. And we should describe on a business level why it matters to have such a program in place, and why it is beneficial to have the security champions in the development teams instead of just focusing on shift left. And I already gave you an answer earlier on. There are more. You have to look what is for you. But if you want to my opinion, shift left is never the option, because this great. We are going to implement security in the earlier stages of the SDLC phases. But shifting left means we forget about the later stages. That's why, if you want to do it, use expand to the left, so you never forget about the later stages, because they are equally as important as the first ones. But enough about that part. Let's go back to our program. The next one is about feasibility. We should describe attainable, realistic goals that we want to achieve with our program. And you can have multiple goals. It doesn't matter how much you have, but you should describe them at least what you want. And that can be things like, we want to have an X amount of meetups a year dedicated to security. We want to have a CI/CD pipeline of 2.5 out of 3 on a maturity scale. Or we want to reduce the risk from our software to a certain percentages. All great risk, but try to tie them up to the overarching IT security goals, the development goals, or even better, the business goals. And this will help you finding out investors later on, and it will make it much more easier for you. But for now, let's go to the 4th component about focused. A vision should give you some clear directions on clear directions and guidance in decision making. And you should think about and write it down. What is it that we expect from our security champions? What is the security boundary of those champions? What is the commitment towards the program by senior management? And now, what is the scope of the security champions? Is it to safeguard the entire organization or just a part of it? And which part of it is it then? Again, what is the roles, responsibilities in conversations to their development teams and security experts? Why it is better to have those separated instead of having it once or doing things the old ways? And then the last component, communicatable. A plan who isn't communicatable is just a fake image in your head. So that's why you should describe it at least at 2 different levels, your vision. One, very exhaustively, very in detail, so you know exactly the what, the why, the how, and the when of your program, what you want to change and achieve. But this isn't a great document to showcase to senior management or C directors, or just someone you met at the coffee corner that you want to tell all about the amazing things that you are doing. No, and that's why you should describe a document that is quickly and easy to understand. And you should really consider drawing a picture that showcases how these security champions will enable the security goals, the development goals, or the IT goals, or the business goals. And this will definitely go a long way in the organization. In the end, it is the shared purpose, family vision, and a strong family bond that will make sure your security champion program will be fabulous and successful and stand the test of time. Now, great, we have created our shared vision, our family vision. Now it's time to seek out investors. So we need to approach senior management. But before we engage with them, we should try to get to know more about them. What are their preferences? What is their decision-making style? How do they make decisions? What is their leadership style? Actually, we should try to find out a consigliere, a trusted advisor who knows a lot about the senior management on a small detail, like what kind of language we should resonate or which ones we should avoid. How do they run actually their business? And these small things might seem silly, but actually, if you use it correctly, you can tailor your approach effectively so you can make them an offer they can't refuse. And for those who are familiar with The Godfather, rest be assured, I'm not talking about threatening them with their lives or putting an animal head at bed at night. I'm just talking about an offer that is genuinely so great that they can't say anything else than, yes, I want this. No, wait a second, I need this. And that's the sweet spot you want to achieve, because then a lot of proposals will be accepted. So, currently we have a strong family bond. We have set the family vision and we have the investors on board on our plans. Now it's time to think strategically about our security champion program. What kind of program do we want or need? What kind of persons are we looking for to becoming those champions? Should they be eager to learn, curious? What kind of skills, knowledge, mandate would they require? It would be actually great if we can come up with a targeted profile, a persona that showcases how our ideal security champions would look like. Because most of the time you don't have them already in your organization. But we can create educational roadmaps for testers, developers, architects to becoming those ideal security champions. Because remember, great people aren't born great, they grow great. And that's why education is so important. And when building your security champion program, maybe the most difficult step, but also the most important step as well, is identifying the right persons to becoming those champions, because this role shouldn't be taken lightly. It isn't just any skilled developer, for example. It is someone who's going to help you leading the change of culture in your organization. It is someone who's going to advocate for security best practice in general, controls, measures, etc. It is someone who is going to mentor others within the organization, so definitely a heavy role. But what does the ideal security champion look like? Luckily for us, Don Vito Corleone already gave us the 10 attributes every capo should need, or better said, every security champion should need. And those are 5 core attributes and 5 soft attributes, starting with the core ones. a security champion should be curious and eager to learn, to understand the complexity of security. And doesn't just want to follow best practices, but actually wants to understand why certain approaches are better than others in certain situations. And they know that security, IT development are constantly changing fields, so they should have a passion for continuous learning is essential. Then technical expertise in software development. Typically they are developers, but it doesn't have to be. That's why they should have at least a strong grasp of fundamental knowledge in programming in general, but they should also be familiar with the programming language used within the organization, and they should be very well versed within the software security aspects, all the way from creating features, epics, user stories, to code writing, to code reviews, to deployment, to maintenance, and all the way up to decommissioning is vital. Then a security champion doesn't have to be a full security expert, but they at least have to know a strong knowledge in key software security principles like threat modeling, vulnerability management, and secure code practices. But they should also be familiar with OWASP Top 10, software development lifecycle management, and common attack vectors like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, path reversal attack, brute force attacks, and all those kinds. And then a security champion should be able to spot vulnerabilities as early as possible in the code base, but also on a process level, and see the associated risk with them. And maybe more importantly, they should be able to communicate those to technical people, but also the non-technical stakeholders, to make sure that security becomes relatable and understandable for everyone. And the last one, in addition to those development skills, they should know how to implement security testing tools like SCA, SAST, DUST, secret scanners, infrastructure as code, compliance as code, because this gives them an idea what their security posture is of their solutions they are building. But also they can analyze the risk and see and help guide their development team to proactively fix those issues. And they should also be familiar with automating these scans in the CI/CD pipeline, so they have more time on mentoring others and analyzing the risks. So currently we have covered the core attributes. Let's start with the soft ones. Strong communication and mentoring skills is an open door actually, but very important. A security champion should explain security concept easily and effectively. They going to advocate others in the organization about the importance of security and to take that seriously. And they have to make sure that they can explain security, complex security issues easily in simple terms, lead by example, being approachable, and making sure they offer mentorship and guidance to their peers. They are going to collaborate with a lot of people. They should be team players. Think about developers, testers, architects, other development teams, security experts. They are going to help bridging the gap between IT and security and fostering a culture where security becomes everyone's responsibility. Then a security champion should think critically and quickly come up with solutions when security issues arise. They should be able to, in situations where security might be in conflict with IT development, to negotiate effective solutions that makes everyone happy. Then leadership and advocacy. The security champions are the go-to people when it comes to security concerns in the code base. And they should inspire their peers to take security seriously, to see the added value of it towards the quality of the systems. And they should be influencing, inspiring, so they will enthusiasm their colleagues as well about these topics. And then the last one, empathy. Very important, because they know that their development team are always under tight pressure of creating user stories, epics, features, and with a high demand of quality in tight deadlines. And with empathy, they can introduce security solutions and measures in such a way that it doesn't add undue friction, and ensuring that their solutions make sense towards the project and also the way of working of the team. In addition, in conclusion, the perfect security champion isn't just a skilled developer. It is someone who's proactive, inspiring, empathic, and a collaborative team player who is committed to the cause of security and the well-being of the organization. And nurturing these attributes, skills, and knowledge will make sure that we can create a culture where security empowers everyone, developers, architects, and way beyond, to create more resilient and safer software. So, great. Now that we know roughly what is our profile that we are looking for our champions, it is now time, my family, to find our security champions. We need to find friends that are willing to help us achieving those goals. And friendship is important. Friendship is is more important than talent, is more important than government, and it's almost as equally as important as family. And that's why we need to create a community out of it, to make sure that they are loyal, that we trust each other. And for that, we should consider the following components. The first one is about defining a clear purpose, scope, and goal of those community. What do we want to achieve with it? And make sure it is aligned with the family vision that we have created earlier on. But we should also dedicate a few family members to interact with the community constantly and creating measurable success criteria, so we can continuously monitor if we are on the right path or are we deviating from it. Because then we can define how the community will align with the overarching security strategies and objectives. And it would be great if we find a dedicated family member who is attending to strategic update sessions about security. But it would be even greater if we can find a security executive that's willingly provides periodically feedback in the community, showcasing what kind of strategies are we going to achieve this year, how are we going to do it, where are we, and also what can the champions do to help achieving those goals is very importantly. Then we should also establish regular communication channels and ways of communication to interact with each other, but also with the security family. And these can things like mailing groups, online forums, chat groups, social media platforms, shared workspaces where people can talk about security. They can share ideas, discuss issues, providing feedback, and acting as a knowledge bank. Then we should also organize regular events, activities that are about learning and engaging with everyone. And think about panel discussions, group discussions, presentations, demos, hackathons, games, quizzes, doesn't matter. And those are about a security solution, a challenge, a new project, an issue that you want to be solved. And it would be really great if you can add an element of gamification towards of it to make it sure they are more motivated, more engaged to act in those activities. And one really great way, and one of my favorites, is actually capture the flag, because this is really a great way to showcase where are your knowledge, where is your skills, where are the gaps. And you can really learn from each other. And it's also a great way to show the importance of security. But as learning events are important, there might be one more importantly. We should also have activities that are about fun, getting to know each other, because we want a community. That means personal connections, means loyalty, means trust, and that can only be built when you spend time with each other. So have equally amount of fun and learning about each other. Events is important. So as our security champions grow and mature in their role, it is important to acknowledge their progress and achievements and celebrate those. And it isn't about the incentives that we are giving them. It is about a powerful motivator and making sure that our program sustains and being strong. Acknowledgement and rewarding champions plays a pivotal role in several ways. First and foremost, it is fuel for their enthusiasm and dedications to the program. And when champions see that their efforts are being appreciated, it will strengthen their sense of ownership. It will make sure that they will even take on more initiative to deepen the security in their teams. And this kind of support or this kind of acknowledgement shows them that they have a tangible positive impact on the organization, and that is really important. And rewarding progress also cultivates a culture where as champions evolve and mature in their role, it is vital to recognize those achievements, and we should reward it. And that can easily be done with public acknowledgements, trophies, badges, certifications, but it can also be more tangible things like leading workshops, contributing to strategic sessions, representing their companies at external events will go a long way. And this kind of validation motivates them even more to push their boundaries of their knowledge and skills. And in addition, rewarding champions reinforce a community mindset, the collective success of the organization and the program. Because we want a culture that security isn't being seen as an individual task. It is something to be proud of. So everyone has to do it, and it should be celebrated by the entire organization. Again, for the community mindset. And it shows them also that they are part of something bigger than just their own role. They are part of the organization. And finally, a rewarding system is also an instrumental in talent retention. When the organization shows that it values their expertise, their contributions they make, it will encourage the champions to take on more initiative, make it more prone, and make sure they have more value, and they will like it even more. And that will reduce the turnover. And because they stay longer connected to your program, it means that your development teams always have a champion in place that is motivated, engaged, and is trying to achieve success in the program because they know what's in it for them. In the end, it isn't about the rewards and the achievements that we are giving them. It is about reinforcing the importance of security and making sure we empower those who help make it a core part of our organization's culture. And to build a successful and sustaining security champion program, it is essential to invest in our security champions. The investments that we make today is about their growth and development, but also it will strengthen the security posture in the long run of our organization. And investing in the development and growth is critical, is important. And the most important thing you should invest is about opportunities to learn and advance in their career. Because IT development and security, already said, is an evolving field constantly. And they should have up-to-date knowledge about the new trends, new activities, new tools that would be handy to secure our systems, but also which kind of threats are a hot topic right now and which are coming after us, they should be knowing. And that's why we should offer them regular training, access to certifications, or attending conferences like these to make sure they have the up-to-date knowledge and they can succeed in their career. It will also be a great way of making sure you create educational roadmaps personalized for them. And that's quite a heavy task, quite exhaustive, but it will showcase them what kind of skills, knowledge they should learn, what milestones they should aim for, and what kind of possible leadership positions they could lead into. And when they see that you are committed to their professional development, it will make them feel supported, valued, and they will be more engaged to reach those goals. And they will be more likely to help you innovate and make the program better because they know what's in it for them. So you have both sides of the coin helping each other. And then ensuring they feel valued is really important. And I'm not just talking about recognition and rewarding them about the milestones or the contributions they have done, but also make sure they feel valued as a person and as the development. So appreciate the contributions they made, important, but also ask questions like, how are you doing? And not just on the business, but also personally at home. How are your partners, child doing? And making sure that they feel mattered as a person who they are and not only what they do. Because then you can also ask them questions like, hey, how can we improve our program? What can we do about our mentorship? And this fostered a culture where their input is being valued. They see it, and that will make sure that their efforts improve security, and it will be acknowledged by leadership. And while investing in those security champions is important, it is equally important to consider the natural turnover of your organization. Because people are always on the move. Organizations evolve, team dynamics change, and you should anticipate for these risks, and you should have plans in place to make sure you address those risks. And so we should create a strategy of identifying and training new security champions. Call it cross-training or mentorship, where senior champions educate junior champions. So we have a steady pipeline of new potential champions, but also the learning curve will be faster because of the mentoring program. And when a change happens in this case, it will make sure that you can continue the momentum of your program without disruption because you have already a replacement in place. And maybe more importantly, you should make sure that your program is scalable, creating documents, guidelines, training material, so that when your champion changes, the team grows or smaller, will make smaller, you can scale it easily, and new champions will step in more seamlessly every single time. And encourage collaboration and knowledge sharing, because then when a champion leaves, the knowledge stays within the community and the momentum can continue of the program. And in this cruel world that we are living right now, we can't wait for trouble knocking on the door. We must build a loyal, strong family and friendship out of our security champion program, out of our champions, who lives by the code of strength, loyalty, honor, and trust. And today you have learned valuable lessons about how to create the family, how to set the family vision, how to seek your team, how to get the backing of the investors, and what kind of persons are right for the role of the security champions. And maybe more importantly, you know how to invest within them, and not just with tools, techniques, but also with trust, opportunities, and mentorship and loyalty. And most importantly for today, you know how to keep the momentum alive of your program, so that your legacy won't fade away, but grow stronger with every generation. Because in this family business, the greatest threat isn't the enemy we see in front of us, but the weakness we ignore. And we just don't create a program. We make them an offer they can't refuse to stand with us, to protect what matters, to becoming the guardians of the future. And this is our security family. I want to thank you for listening and for having me here today. I hope you have learned valuable lessons during these sessions and all the other sessions you have today. And may your organization be as untouchable as the family of Corleone. If there are any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them.